Once again, I'd like to thank you for attending, and thank you to Robin and Mariella for leading us through this a very interesting topic this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barb. So as Barb mentioned, this was one of the topics that was suggested by our volunteers about how to get parents more involved in volunteering with the troops. So when the adult recruitment and education specialist out of Girl Scouts Heart of Michigan met and we were brainstorming about this presentation, we came up with some roadblocks that we have heard from leaders, and also we will discuss later on the webinar 6 parts of the meeting. So that's what's in the agenda for today, and I hope that you enjoy the presentation and you will have a chance to participate as well towards the end. So I will lead then right here. This is one of the first things that we have heard parents actually say to leaders. I didn't know you needed help, or no one asked me to help. So when this happens, we're going to give you some verbiage that you can use, but also we want to share with you this kind of fun parent helper skit. This is a visual demonstration to show how much a leader has to do and to give parents an idea of what jobs they could volunteer for. So for this kit, you can have a parent come up to the front to be the demo leader, so the pretend leader, and keep handing this demo leader or this pretend leader items that represent all the things a leader has to do and things that you hope parents will volunteer to help with. So you can start with something like this. Well, I have to keep track of everyone's information and records, and you can give them a binder, as you just saw in the slide. And these are all things that you're handing off to them while you're saying it. And then we need to register everyone. We need to get books and resources for all the girls. Again, so give them the girls guide, the Brownie Girls Guide, or whatever grade level that you're working with. You can give them that. You can give them all 3 sets of journeys at that time too. You also have to handle troop finances, so you can give them a calculator. Sorry about that. We had to mute a participant that just joined. So again, first aid kit, as I was mentioning. And then we have to think about camping with the girls. So you don't give them a tent, but you can give them a little picture of a tent, as well as maybe equipment that needs to be stored or cared for, such as flags, camping equipment, or needing supplies, scissors, tape, markers, construction paper. You can give them all that. And then you also need to be involved with product programs, so that's what the cookie box is there for, a full cookie box or an empty one, whichever way. You also need to be involved in treats and reads. That's our fall product program, and you can give them a can of one of the products. We're also going to be involved in field trips, so you don't give them a car, but you can give them a toy car. You're also going to be in charge of girl awards and badges, planning and schedule all the activities, so you can give them a calendar, and anything else that you can think of. And then to show your primary concern, needs, and interest and development of each girl, you could use a carton of eggs, a plastic ones, or a book on the person's head. And then you can tell them that on top of all this, you want me to arrange your ride, call everyone to keep on things, call the night before to see if you're coming, give you reminders for what you missed, and run this troop with no help. And then you can scream or pretend to scream and pull your hair out. And hopefully this will be like a fun visual demonstration, and it will hopefully also give parents and girls the understanding of the troop leaders' limitations and take over some of the roles that were illustrated, so they're eager to help. So again, this is a little skit that we recommend that you might be able to do at a parent meeting, and something that you might be, that we recommend that you can tell them when they say that I didn't know you needed help or no one asked me to help. You can let them know that there are no limits on the ways parents can help to support it. For example, provide transportation, be a first aider, help with trips and activities, and share one of your hobbies, and the list goes on. I would personally recommend leaders and co-leaders to don't be afraid to ask for the leader's help or for parents' help one, and don't be afraid to ask for the help more than one. And let them know that the support is important to you, but most of all, the support that they will provide is important to the girls. Another tip here that we came up with is when you set up a meeting with the parents, set the tone that all parents will help. So it has to be clear from the beginning that the success of the troop depends on the support from the families and that they will need to step up for the roles. So parents should encourage the girls' guide activities of the troop even when it takes the parents out of their comfort zones. So here towards the bottom of the screen you will see the topics or the items that you could put in the agenda for the sample parent meeting. You can brainstorm ideas of how they can help. There's a survey also that we have that we can email at the end of the webinar. It's called You Are Needed, or it's a family troop survey, where it asks for the skills that parents can have and how they will be able to help with the troop. This is another roadblock. Robin, go ahead with this one.
Okay, so the second reason we get from parents that they can't or don't want to volunteer is that they're too busy. They have their own things going on between work and their social life. They have their kids that need to be places. They could have other children. Everybody's busy. The troop leader is busy too. So we're going to talk about how to make sure that those parents understand that the leader is busy as well. So there's a couple ways you can respond. So if they're busy, you can tell them that they can manage and set their own hours for volunteering. There's lots of different ways to help the troop that can be done away from the troop meeting on their own time at home. Or you can tell them that volunteering for Girl Scouts is a different experience from their other experiences with their kids. It's a quality time to be spent with their daughter. So one thing I would suggest is to brainstorm short-term or one-time only tasks. Quick things that parents can do and be done with that commitment right away. So maybe you need supplies for a craft project. You can ask somebody to go to Myers or Michael's and pick those things up. It's a one-time thing. Driving, helping with cookie booths, sharing their skills, their hobbies. Maybe they like to go boating. Maybe they do this or that or the other thing. Maybe they can share that with the girls. They get a different experience, and that's what makes Girl Scouts unique. So one thing that I like to suggest is at your parent meeting, tell how many parents there are and make a list of that many jobs. So if you have 12 parents in your meeting, make a list of 12 or 14 jobs, so a couple extra ones in case there's something they don't want to do. So you have something for everybody to do.
So I was wondering, I don't know if we want to open it up right here to the participants, and maybe you can type up some activities or some roles that you could assign parents, or you have already done that, or that you are thinking of doing. I know that we've had in troops, for instance, a source parent, meaning that a parent was going to be in charge of looking at our source event book and looking for deadlines of programs coming up and programs that the girls wanted to participate in. So what this parent did was really keep on top of those deadlines and registered early, made sure that all the girls had the payment or all the forms to go to the event. So it was really helpful because there were so many other things going on at that time that this parent reminded them about the deadline. For instance, also we have had parents that it could be a sewing parent. So there's always a need to sew some patches or badges on the girls' uniforms, on the vests or sashes. And I mean, I for one, I'm not really too thrilled about sewing that and sewing a patch, and I would love to have some help in my daughter's troop. So that is a little thing too that someone can help with. We didn't get anything on the chat box yet, but we can keep on going then, and we can then discuss this further on the webinar.
Another option is the troop family survey. Mariella spoke about the You Are Needed spreadsheet before. This is pretty much the same thing, just laid out in a different way. You can give this to your parent, and then they can look through it and see what kind of requirement and responsibility goes along with each volunteer position. So if they want to do a short-term commitment or a long-term commitment, or during troop meetings or outside of troop meetings, they can look at that and figure out where they could fit in as a troop volunteer.
And yeah, I can definitely, or we can definitely send these after the webinar if you're interested, or you can type it in the chat box if you would like one of these, and they are up on our website as well. Okay, roadblock number 3. I don't have any experience, and I was never a Girl Scout. So we hear parents sometimes saying that, and that is the reason why they don't volunteer. And these are some of the things that you can then tell them is that it's not necessary to have any experience with Girl Scouts to participate with your daughter. All you need is a willingness to share your gifts and talents with the girls. And also, or you could also say Girl Scouts offers excellent training opportunities for you to improve your skills or to gain brand new ones. So really, there's no experience required by anybody or for anybody. You will learn along just like the girls will be doing as well. And we offer trainings, enrichments, webinars such as this one. There are weekend training opportunities offered as well, where all the support that the leaders and the parents will need is provided.
All right, so another biggie is we'll ask parents to be involved, and the dads will go, but I'm a guy. I can't be a Girl Scout, can I? Well, of course you can. Men are always welcome to become volunteers with Girl Scouts. We have male troop leaders. We have male product program support. We have men all over the place, and we really want more, because having a man as a Girl Scout volunteer brings a whole different experience and perspective to girls. If they're getting leadership skills from women and men, they have a more well-rounded experience and they get more out of it. So we really want to have men who are men enough to be a Girl Scout volunteer.
And we even have a shirt like that for sale in our gift shop for that plug. And I've seen some men here. Actually, we have a facilitator here in the Kalamazoo region, and he proudly wears his man enough to be a Girl Scout shirt whenever possible. So I love that. So that cannot be a roadblock. Roadblock number 5. Isn't that the leader's job? You may be speaking at the parent meeting or talking to parents later in the year and be asked, isn't that the leader's job? Or maybe you'll overhear one parent asking this to another one. So if it's the middle of the year and you hear that, isn't that the leader's job, remain calm. And this is something that you could say. You might want to say, yes, among a million other things, why don't you pitch in and help as well? Or, I mean, instead of saying that, actually, you can say this, but it's a little bit nicer. My number 1 job as a leader is to ensure that our girls have the best Girl Scout experience. To do that, the girls and I need parents to do this job. Or you could also say, for the best experience, girls need to learn from a variety of adults. And this, we all know that. I mean, even your kids at school, you know that they learn differently from the teachers that they have. So it will be the same case with the leaders. Having different adults, having different leaders, and different people that are involved there will offer a different experience for the girls. So at this time, we would like you to share with us in the chat box, or I can unmute you as well if you want to. And let us know, how have you been successful in getting parents involved? I realize that maybe some of you are brand new leaders. Some of you maybe have a little more experience, but we just wanted to open it up over here and ask, have you had success in getting parents involved, or what have you done? Okay, maybe we have not been very successful, and maybe after this webinar you'll have more success. So we'll move on with the slides, and again, later on we can open it up again for questions or any sharing at all.
Okay, so where you're going to start to get your parents involved is at that meeting. And the Girl Scout meeting, you will still have them circulating. They'll be picking up girls, dropping them off, so you can catch them at the startup and the closing of your meeting. But these 6 blocks here are how we like to break down a meeting. So you have your startup activity, your opening, your business where you could collect dues, take attendance, your activity, which could be badge work or a journey or a take action project, cleaning up, your caper, which is a big part. We want those girls to learn that responsibility of cleaning up after themselves, and then your closing, which could be another song or a game while the girls are getting picked up. You want that official end to your meeting.
Here we have a participant that shared that she invited them to join us on field trips, or join the troop on field trips, and asked them to help transport children. So that's excellent, Heather. That is Helen, I'm sorry. That is a great way to get parents involved. And little by little, it might be that they are starting to come, maybe they come to one meeting and then they come to the next one and then again to the other one. And little by little, you can start getting them involved and showing them that you do need that help, that you need their support. The girls need that support as well, and everything will probably run smoothly if everybody's pitching in. Thanks for sharing, Helen.
Okay, so some of those sample meeting activities, so this should take up the bulk of your meeting time with the girls. You can do something from a journey, or you can do badge work or pedal work if you have daisies, different games or songs or crafts. And it's always better to plan too much rather than too little, because you could have this super awesome plan for this activity that you think is going to take 45 minutes, and they're done in 20. So you really want to have those extra things you can pull out of your pocket. Have some spare craft supplies. Have a list of games or songs or something that the girls can do to take up that time.
Yes, and along with what Robin was just saying, I want to plug in here then the all aboard weekend trainings. And these are weekend training events that are offered at Camp Linden, close to the Ypsilanti Ann Arbor region, and also at Camp Marywood by Plainwell, close to the Kalamazoo region. So these are weekend events that are for leaders, troop leaders, or volunteers, or anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about the Girl Scout program. And we offer about, at least 30 courses throughout the weekend, starting Friday through Sunday. You do not need to attend all weekend. You can come for part of the weekend, and you can have all the training that is required for leader, co-leaders done at that point. And then also take all these enrichments, like songs and games, ceremonies, how to paint, I think it's glass art painting. They have done Zumba in the past, stress and time management. And actually there's a class called Bag of Tricks, and that is just for what Robin was talking about. Like when you think there's an activity that's going to last 40 minutes and all of a sudden they're done in half of the time, what do? So you pull your bag of tricks right there, and you have songs, or you have games, or another craft, or another activity for them to do. I would just encourage all of you to at least look at the schedule that we have for all those all aboard weekends, and try to see if there's any classes there that are of interest to you to keep growing wiser in Girl Scouting and learning a little bit more about everything we have to offer. So we had a participant share in the chat box at the first parent meeting. I have a sign-up sheet for each parent to volunteer to assist at a meeting. We only meet once a month and have one outing, so it isn't too much to ask. And that's great, Christina. Thanks so much for sharing that. That is awesome to have a sign-up sheet. I know that, for instance, I've seen the teachers at my girls' school do that. When you go to an open house, you have those sign-up sheets. If you want to volunteer or help out at a Christmas party or the Valentine's party, so you sign up right there, and they will probably contact you when it's your time to volunteer. I know what we have also discussed, to have like specific roles, like we were talking about with the troop survey, just really specific roles, or as specific as possible. So you're not just asking, I need help. So what kind of help do you need? You need help with the paperwork, you need help driving girls to a field trip, you need help during an activity. So if you are a little more specific, that would probably get parents a little bit more involved as well. What we have noticed also is when you notice something about a parent, like they have great organizational skills, and you can go up to them and say, hey, Mary, I have seen the way you have your purse organized, or not purse, or car organized, or how you are so organized, and you would be great at doing X, Y, Z, and here's an activity that maybe she can help you out with. So noticing some of those skills, if you know, or if you know of any of those skills, then again, approaching directly a parent and asking them, what is it exactly that you need help with, and letting them know that you notice that they have that skill. So this is the time for questions or sharing also, as some of the participants have done already. Again, I can unmute you if you want to speak to the group, or you can type in and I can read that. Also, here are our email addresses, Robin and myself, Mariela. Robin is out of the Jackson-Lansing region. She spends a little more time, I think, in Lansing, but she goes to Jackson at least once a week, so you can go visit her there. And I'm in Kalamazoo, so if you're around this area, you can always come to the office as well and visit me. Or we would also love to hear any other successes that you've had in getting parents engaged, so we can share with others. And whatever idea you have is great, and we can share that knowledge and that wealth, so everybody can maybe share some of or engage in some of those best practices.
Right. Or if you have something you've encountered that we didn't talk about, you can share that with us too, and as a group we can try to brainstorm a way for you to get around that.
Right. Thanks, Robin. Yeah, because we also, when we started brainstorming for roadblocks, we had quite a few. I'm sure you've heard maybe any of those 5 roadblocks, or maybe you've heard others. So if you've heard others and you don't know how to approach them, feel free to share them now, or you can email us later and we can help you go through that roadblock so it's not a block anymore.
Well, I have the cadets, 7th grade, and they're very confident, capable girls. We merged troops with another troop that was getting small and kind of falling apart. And one of the leaders that joined us tends to kind of run roughshod over the girls and their ideas and not listen to them. And I've tried to talk to her more than once about backing off and letting the girls figure it out on their own, to just stop talking and just let them, ask them a question and let them solve it, instead of just saying, okay, well, we're going to do this. And sometimes she'll listen, and then she'll let them talk, but then she just disregards everything they say and says something else. So I actually have trouble with an adult, not with a leader, not a parent. Is there some kind of, for older girls, I'm looking for some kind of format that I can present to, like, have the girls form squads or something like that, so to give them more control, so that it makes it harder for an adult to override them. Is there some kind of, I'd really like a formula.
I wish it was that easy, right? But what I wanted to mention to you is that we have been offering a class that is a course called Making It Girl-Led, where I probably would encourage your co-leader to attend to that. But I can probably get handouts that have been given at that class before, and maybe there are some tips there on how to do that, how to start being more girl-led and backing off a little bit and letting the girls decide and letting the girls choose and letting the girls vote and plan and decide, especially at that grade level, cadets. I mean, gosh, they are old enough, I'm sure, to start helping out with more and more things in the troop setting.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I would like your opinion on, I've been president of different clubs before, and we run things by using Robert's rules, where you have, new business, old business, new business, finances, things like that. Would that be appropriate to start introducing the girls to, ways that 501c3 led, organizations, the rules they're expected to run by?
Okay, well, we have a comment here from Barb Henton, who is on our board and a member of the member advisory committee, and she said that is a great training tool and is used by Girl Scouts of the USA at their meetings. I think that's probably a green light for you to start using that.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what I'm going to do, is focus on that, because it's, student council meetings and things, they try to get them to run things along those lines. So it would be appropriate. I think it's appropriate for that age to start them off with that.
Right. And I mean, I don't know, Christina, if you have brought this up to the attention of the membership specialist in your region as well. Is there, that keeps going on with the other leader in the troop then? What other things can you do? Or, are there any other leaders that can give you also some of their advice too? Because I know of many leaders that could possibly give you some more advice as well, to mentor you a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people I can ask. Our area meeting, I'll bring that up and let everybody help me.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks, Christina, for sharing, and thanks for everybody else that shared in the chat box as well, and trying to help you out, Christina, too. So we have a new leader that has not had much luck with the parents being involved. So hopefully you got some ideas out of the webinar, and hopefully you have some that will step up and see that their help is needed. And it's just so important. And like we said, not only for you as a leader, but also for the girls. And that quality time, I think that Robin touched upon, I think it's a soft spot for anybody. I mean, this is just the real one-on-one time that you have with your daughter. How can you not take advantage of this? It's just precious time with her that you can spend, and Girl Scouting and teaching her something new, and being involved and supporting her in something that she likes. We have another participant here share that we're inviting parents to the first 10 minutes of the meeting to talk with their leaders and plan sign up for activities, permits, etc. So that's a great idea too, Carolyn. Thanks so much for sharing that. And again, we want to make these heart-to-heart leader chats a little bit of a conversational discussion or brainstorming that we just had of helping each other out. And what idea do you have, and what is it that you do in Whitmore Lake that we can do in Midland or in Kalamazoo or DeWitt or anywhere else? I think those area meetings, Christina, like you mentioned, it's a great time to get tools and resources, not only from the staff that is going to be there, but the networking with other leaders and other volunteers, and asking them, for some help that you need, or how do they do, or how do they handle this situation. I don't know, Robin, if you have anything else to add, or Barb, if you wanted to add anything else, or anybody else in the webinar.
I just want to thank everybody for sharing. We had a great discussion. We were able to help somebody solve a problem, hopefully, or at least get her the steps to doing that. So thanks, everybody.